Morning and welcome to Modding Outlook. This is Kim speaking on, when is it? Wednesday, the 20th of August. Okay, so a little bit of good news I just read there from Hazza. He's passed one of his challenges and received his first funded account. That was very nice too. Okay, well done. Okay, so let's get on and look at these markets today then. And we'll start off as ever with the euro dollar. Actually, before that, of course, we start off as ever. We're looking at what news events are happening today. We've just seen the inflation data out. UK inflation data out came out fractionally higher on the core data than expected. In fact, it came out higher than expected on the year-on-year data. Actually still running at 5%. This is more than double the target, with the core figure is the target figure to be taken from, but that nearly 4% is still nearly double the 2% target. So that puts pressure on not cutting interest rates, I guess, even though the interest rates probably really need cutting. But there we go. The pound has been pushed up this morning. Right, today for the rest of the day, well, we've seen the New Zealand data official rate cut by a quarter of a percent, so down to 3% now, gradually easing its way back there. So we've seen inflation, UK inflation, no surprise there, higher than expected. Aside of that then, we haven't got a great deal through the rest of today now. FOMC minutes, still scratching my head on those ones, but anyway, there we go. Let's have a look at the markets themselves, starting off with the euro dollar. I'm just going to run through these very quickly. There's not too much happening. There's a trade I'm in which might be worth having a look at. So euro dollar, yesterday come off slightly. I mean, you just got to be a bit careful. Sometimes you look at the shorter time frames and you think, oh, this is all done for. Well, it might be now, but it is just easing back a little bit there and has rolled off a bit today. It's down into its weekly S1 now, where we might find a bit of support around this area. It's finding a short-term bounce. A break of this S1, well, we could be on for a bigger correction here. If the US market's selling off a little bit, the money tends to go into the US dollar and drag it away from the likes of the euro. So just watch this. But at the moment, well, we've got an untouched daily pivot. It's trading that is against the trend there, so don't like doing that. I would rather see if it does go up there to see the reaction into that pivot or pivot area we saw yesterday. So this is where we're sort of in a short-term trend there. I was looking to see if it broke the other way completely. We go back to the 4 hours here. Reaction, if it broke above and started continue to move there, it just didn't happen then. So from here, it could have I say it could have been a short. It wasn't a short for me, but it could have been a short on the break back down there. There's been some small divergence over the lower time frames, I would imagine there, and off it's gone. So anyway, for today at the moment, well, opportunities then again, maybe a we'll see post 8 o'clock. Things change so much post 8 o'clock often. Let's just see if it gets back up there. If it does, it's the reaction. If we get some sort of reaction, it's not always clean. This wasn't so clean. If we get a bit of reaction around this, let's see if we can get a bit of a continuation to the downside. Let's have a look. So the pound dollar here was similar but worse. There we go. It had already yesterday put the lower high in. This was the potential short side of things, whereas the euro looked on the longer side. This did look a bit on the shorter side. It did pitch up a little bit later in the morning through its pivot there, only to roll back. This was a cleaner move. It hadn't hit the S1, so it made it a better trade on the breakdown on this. It's just cleaner with the lower highs in. It was just safer. Where to next? Well, that higher inflation figure at the moment has given it a bit of a reaction. It's pulled back within its range though. I'll keep on meaning to record a video on regression channels, etc. Well, this is regressed back to the sort of area it was in previously. We could get a continuation to the downside. Haven't got an entry for that yet, but would be looking for that downside on the pound there. US dollar yen, right, same old, still going pretty much on the sideward action here. This is why I don't like triangles. This kind of broken out, pulled back now, looks like it was trying to go the other way. Let me get rid of that now. Just left that on there. Yeah, too unreliable. It's all I can do here. I don't have a trade on this. It's just too ugly at the moment. Perhaps we will see more downside, but too ugly, too little movement. The Aussie's starting to break down. It's following the New Zealand, I guess, to a degree. It's eased back a little bit there. It did go yesterday afternoon, really. But most of the morning they're not really doing too much. Really don't overly like it at this stage. It has, well, hasn't got much of a target, but it has got the potential of breaking back down below the S1, running towards the S2. It might break through the S2. The S2 would be if it breaks back through there, around about 75% chance of that being hit. But as you see, it's nothing in it. It's whether or not it can break further is the question. The trend is downwards at the moment. It's looking cleanish here. It did that head and shoulders I talked about yesterday, broke down, and as I say, it took the afternoon to actually kick it in, and that's really in play at the moment. It's probably just about done. Morning, Dean. Good morning. Yeah, so not a lot to do on that at the moment. US dollar CAD. Well, its data wasn't that bad yesterday, but well, we saw it move quite strongly to the upside there in the afternoon there, and it's on the data, and well, it's looking like it's got more upside here, which is fine. If you can get into a trade at the moment, it's just sitting here in a little bit of no man's land. I'd like to see it come back maybe to this quarterly pivot that's sitting. It's broken through. We can get back to that quarterly pivot, maybe then look for a long side. New Zealand dollar, pretty much like the Aussie in terms of its running. It's obviously had the kicker this morning with that data coming there. Cut in rates. It's maybe what was said with the cut in rates, but it was an expected cut in rates. Nothing surprising there. As I say, it may be I didn't catch the comments what was said around that, but certainly off. It had been looking soft in terms of the data, the sentiment there on the New Zealand dollar, so not a great shock to see that. It's in line, lower highs, lower lows here on the dailies. Still looking soft. Okay, finally on the majors. Sorry, I'm going through these majors, but it's looking for something this morning, and I can't see a great deal at the moment beyond what I've covered here. It's just a case of wait, see what's happening, see if we can get these euro maybe down again. And the pound continuation to that downside. The Swissy here softening a little bit here. As I said, we generally, if we see equities coming off a little bit, money runs into the bonds and the equity market, the US dollar, and maybe if the equity market is going to come down, that's what we're going to see. Not a great deal else here. The Euro CAD, I'm long on this. I took the long yesterday. It's easier to see off the 4-hourly here. It's just a bit underwater at the moment. It started off quite nicely. It's pushing in the right direction. Still may have some more in it. I'm really looking up here initially to its weekly R1 and then maybe even the quarterly R1. So it'll be a bit of half and half. So I'm just watching this this morning. I mean, if you're considering looking for it, I'd look for a break above this high here. At the moment, it's not looking so pretty on the lower time frames, but bigger time frames still got the potential. Really subject to what the euro does this morning, but as I said, a break of this, the high of the previous 4-hourly even could be a possible entry there. Right, that's the equity market, equity currency markets. Let's go and look at gold. Up a bit this morning. Still in a world of not being too interesting to me, but it's moving there. Oh, it looks okay. Okay, well, potential this morning then. There's potential on this. On the downside, we'll see how it breaks down. I should give it a while, but looking at whether this is going to react off the pivot here and push off downwards. So there is some potential there, a bit of a continuation. If the dollar continues to strengthen across the markets, that might go with. Oil's up a tad at the moment. Don't get too excited about this either way. Still not forming much in the way of opportunities. Yesterday it just chopped all the way through from the morning through. No real action there. Today it's put a little higher low in, but it's messy. It's probably best avoided. Equity markets down 0.25% on the S&P this morning. You see it's just continuing this little ride to the downside at the moment on the dailies. Still very small days. As I said yesterday, you've got to be a little bit careful getting too excited about this. It did come off quite strongly, I guess, yesterday afternoon relatively, really fueled by the technology stocks. At the moment, as we're looking at this, if this was to break through its S1 here, S2 would be a reasonable play, and if it starts coming off quickly, we get the old saying is that the bulls climb the stairs and the bears jump out the window. So if it did start breaking down here with any sort of momentum, look for the bear to jump out the window, and we could get beat back right down to this S2 on the dailies there. We'll see how that forms this morning. The tech stocks, so we'll just run into the tech stocks as they've sort of led this, and there's been this drift on all of these equity markets, and I'm seeing comments now that traders are all of a sudden thinking, well, it went up far too soon and everything else. It's been going up like that all the time. Why? I don't know. Anyway, looking for the excuse to short it, which is fine. Some of these markets may be quite shortable in the short term. As I said, the S&Ps look soft there if we see a continued breakdown this morning. The tech stocks again could see another breakdown below that S1. S2 becomes a bit of a target. Equity London market, the FTSE, ugly signs here. Really not got a lot going on, whereas the other market's been coming down. This has been going up fractionally. It's chopping. It will get dragged down potentially with the others eventually, but likewise you could argue everyone's sort of talking about how the FTSE's sort of been flying when you look at the state of the economy, etc. But it's been external money, where that external money is maybe all in there now. maybe someone will start taking profits on this as well. It's a mess at the moment, best avoided. The DAX, like the other markets, has been down for a few days now. It's a little bit messier, cleaner on the 4 hours here actually. It's whether or not we can get another shift to the downside. Yesterday it just carried on. It was looking softish yesterday, but managed to get the turning point there, but didn't get down to its S1. Bitty at the moment, it's already done the S1. Maybe in the way things are moving at the moment, it's probably already had pretty much a day's range there. Right, okay, that's pretty much it for me today. I'm going to leave it there and wish you a good day's trading. Hazard, if you're listening, keep the good work up, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.